How are your studies going on?
It's good.
Nice to hear those. So did you get your C++ sessions? Like,
No, I actually don't think he's teaching them anymore.
why?
Because he said that we don't have time to cover it fully, so he's just gonna do final exam review.
Okay, then how about your, uh, like, exam? Like, do you need C++ for
Oh,
exam or?
no, I don't think he's covering no.
Oh,
Yeah.
so again, we need to change our strategy, right?
So that's what he said that he doesn't have time.
But Janice, I don't think Janice said anything about it.
Oh, well, ours did.
I don't know.
For her class, they might need it, but for mine, I
I
don't
don't
think.
know. I'm not sure because Janice didn't say anything.
Okay, but at least today I'll cover some more C++ concepts as we already started. And then maybe in upcoming sessions, you can suggest me what concepts are most important for the exams first, and then
Okay.
we'll review the interview things later.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna share my screen. It's crazy. Like, yeah. Do you see the screen?
Mhm.
Yes. So this is a small brainstormer to understand like how to make something like a password. It's a universal code where you can run on any terminal in Windows or Linux. If I type something, it doesn't appear, but I'm displaying in the program. But while typing, it doesn't appear. Okay, so let me show you. These are around 5 lines of code you need to do to adjust your terminal so that it will behave as a secure mechanism to read passwords. Okay. When you are building any large complex application using console, you need to probably use these lines of code. And remaining all are same. Like you need to read a scene string, and then this is another one to reset the terminal back to display anything. Okay. So it is just a brainstormer, but I thought of explaining you this because I'm going to use one more uh, login application in few minutes. So there we will be using general string reading, but I don't use these lines of code. But just want to let you know how to securely set console, in Windows or Linux. Okay, and this is present in a header file called termios.h. So you can use this header file to do the security setting. Okay. You can play with it. I'll share you this code. Uh, when I'm explaining the complex program, you can copy paste this code and play with that as well. Uh, before going to that, I would like to explain one more small concept like this, which is common across all the languages, especially in C++, Python, C Sharp, Java, that is called templates. The names can be changed, but the concept is same. The goal of templates is to avoid code duplication. Say like if I want to find a maximum number between two integers, this is the condition. But if I want to do the same for two double or string or characters, if the logic is same, do I need to have multiple functions? In C, yes, we need to have multiple functions like this. right? Suppose if you need to do the same for double, in C, we need to do like this. And similarly, if you need to do for cat, and then here you need to write the logic, right? This is called code duplication. We can avoid this with the concept of templates. All three can be taken care by compiler if you write just logic and data type. If you don't know which data type you are targeting for, you can simply put template type name. You can put any name here. So like if I say temp, it's just a substitute. Anything you can put, but recommended is usage of T because it is implicating template. But each company has their own names. Okay, you can follow your company's standards. But in C++, people generally use T, but in Java, they use their company's standards or Python also. But remember, whatever the input you pass, compiler will create that related method, which I have typed just now. So compiler will duplicate this code, but we don't see that. But for our readability, this is one line, I think one function. But here I'm calling this function with two integers, whereas two doubles and then two characters. The same function, right? But it will give you the same result. However, compiler creates you three duplication of code just by changing the data types. Okay. This is most important thing for any high-level programming language to save your time in the company. Also to make sure it doesn't support only one type of data type. Okay, this is the code running behind your MS Excel. Why? In an Excel cell, if you type anything, it will accept, right? It can be number, character, strings, or a date, or currency, anything it will accept. Because underlying thing is template. The cell type is by default following a template data type. And based on the value you enter, it can automatically take. Okay, this is the fundamental concept of, and this is one of the beauty features of C++. Initially, C++ started this, and as I said, other languages also adapted with different names. In Java, we say this as generics. Okay, let's do this. The output is expected. It doesn't surprise you. It is just giving the same result. Only thing is we are trying to save some code, duplicated code. Any doubts on templates? The same we can apply this throughout the languages, but I just want to give introduction now so that in future, if you encounter this, you don't get confused. Okay, so C++ means you should always remember templates because this is the one of the beauty. Next, let's go to the other program called exceptions. This is also same as templates. Every programming language has adapted exceptions. And C++ was one of the first languages to give this exception handling. See, this is a good example. I'll first to show you output and then we can brainstorm. Enter your age. It should be reversed, I think. Okay. Enter your age. Triple one. Still okay. Age is good. Enter your age. I'm entering some 200-year-old building. Here is an error we are receiving. This is what, right, we see frequently in the compiler: warning, error. All these are exceptions. This is an exception, but created by ourselves. So we have set an exception saying if the age is either negative or above 120, throw an exception. What is the type of exception? Invalid age exception. This is a class defined by ourselves. Invalid age exception. So this is, I'll explain in another session. For now, just remember, this is called extends. Extends means all the properties of one class are being copied to another class called invalid age exception. Okay, just for now, remember, this is a piece of code which someone else might have created. But in company, you frequently use throw. Suppose if there is a validation, or suppose if someone else is writing this code, you need to use try and catch. This is the area where you need to catch exceptions. 90% of the time, you will be writing try and catch blocks like this in the company. Otherwise, your seniors doesn't allow your code to push into production, because exception is the safe and softer mechanism to terminate your logic if something goes wrong. If you don't use exceptions, the program will abnormally terminate so that the other features also do not work. Suppose if you take ATM program, in the ATM, there are multiple programs running, right? What is common thing? Say like withdraw money. In the ATM withdraw, you have balance verification, and then withdraw balance from account A, account B, like check-in or savings account. And then you need to select some money, like maybe denominations of 10 or 50 or 100. Now, suppose if you have mistakenly entered some number, say like I need $111. Your cash machine doesn't able to provide you that, that calculation and give you. There it creates it throws an error, which the catch block will catch that and then displays saying, please give me denominators or maybe multiples of 10. Suppose if their cash counter is having only $20 notes, then you need to, and the machine says that, please give me multiples of 20. The reason, the behind the code, this block was running. They don't have $5 or $10 currencies in the machine. That's why they are asking you to give only multiples of 20s. So now see, suppose, and immediately if you correct that number, it will give you cash. What does it mean? The cash dispenser is only that logic smoothly terminating, but the remaining parts of the code is still running for you, right? This is very, very important mechanism to smoothly terminate the program. Suppose if these try-catch blocks are not there, what happens? You need to remove the card again, reinsert every time you enter invalid number. But because of exception handling using catch block, you are not terminating the program. So your card is still inserted. Just the input, it is asking again and again until either you click cancel or enter right number. So just to remember, exception handling is pretty common across languages. In C++ or Java, pretty similar. You use try, catch, 90% of the time in the industry, whenever you are calling something, the program can be developed by your colleagues. And try means the real logic, normal logic, which you need to do, which we do every day. But if you feel anything suspicious, put it in try block. Catch means if you guess, you can type. If you don't guess, simply put only one catch. That's it. Exception. It will take care. If you guess, you can do like this. Please enter a valid age. But suppose if you don't know what kind of exception will come, you can simply copy paste this in every part of your program. Okay, when you are doing in the industry. Say why I'm telling this is in your college, okay, but university, okay, but if you go to interview, co-op or full-time jobs, even if they ask you to write a program to print Fibonacci series, you should handle it in try-catch block. Reason, your Fibonacci series can be what? Memory overflow exception can come. Why? After 35, your integer or long doesn't able to store the not Fibonacci, factorial. The factorial value could not be stored after 35 because long size is how much? 8 bytes. What is the maximum value we can store in 8 bytes? 2 power 8 minus 1 as per 2's complements notation. So 2 power 8 minus 1 is factorial 35 range. If it is factorial 36, it is overflowing. It needs 9 bytes. The value is needs around 2 power 9. So that's why for that input, if you want to terminate and then ask again input, the best way is use factorial. Sorry, use try catch in that factorial function call. So if there is any exception like memory or overflow or anything, you can just put it in try catch. Always remember try catch exception, this syntax. What means what will print you this message. Okay. So just to remember this. This part is bit advanced. The more you get experience with the coding, you will learn when to use throw, when to use this block, all that. Once you become senior. But at least in the interview, you can do this part. Try catch. That's any questions on this? Because never forget in the interview, because this will show you separated from others. Because 100% students know how to do factorial or Fibonacci series. But putting try catch will make it more what? Thoughtful, and it proves that you know about exception handling. Similarly, factorial of two numbers, he will ask you. What other concept you can apply? One is exception handling. The other concept was, which we have just now discussed. What? This one. Templates. Why? Of course, for factorial, it doesn't make sense. But for any something related to searching, sorting two numbers, which can be of different data types, you can use this. Okay. So when any interviewer asks questions, always think in these lines. Can I apply a class here? Similarly, can I apply a function? And even that function, can it be a generic? And also, what else? Exception handling. Is there any exceptions I can do? I can able to anticipate and put it in try catch block. These concepts will do a checklist for the interviewer. And these are essential if you are applying for Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Facebook, like around dozen companies, which will give you 6 and a half digits, sorry, 6+ digit salaries. Okay. If you are expecting 120 plus K salary in Canada, these companies will pay you. And to do that, they don't satisfy with just the solution. They also want applicability of your subject. So apply these 4 concepts: object-oriented programming, templates, and then exception handling to any interview question. I bet you will be even asked for, best salary as well. Okay. One, as your senior said, co-op, what else? Maintaining above average grades, co-op. These are all what everyone can do. We need to show our 100% applicability as well, so that right from day one, you can able to contribute to the projects without any training. That is something we need to prove. To prove that, we need to apply these concepts from now. If you start doing this now, so by end of your next 12 months or 1 year, 1.5 years, when you are applying for the interview, it becomes a muscle memory, and easily you will apply this in the interview. Any doubts? Good. Now let's go to the next one. This is another applicability of files, which you have already known in C language, right? So let's do the same in C++ too. So it is a login, sample login. I'm not doing anything crazy. Just register, enter username. Say like Rishita, password. Here I'm displaying. If you want to hide this, I will give you the first program. Password R. Registration successful. If I want to register one more user, password J. Enter your choice. So I'm going to do login. Password. It is successful, right? Now, I'm closing this application and open it. Still, if I try to log in, it should work. That's the expectation, right? This is beautiful concept. So see, now I have shut down the program. Next day, I have logged in, and again, I'm running the program. This time, I don't register because my goal was to register once. It is one-time registration, right, with any website. But I need to log in any number of times. So let's try and log in with Rishita's credentials. It's successful. There's no wonder because it's small, but we need to be able to understand what is happening behind the scenes. Forget about syntaxes, but just can you guess me where these values are being stored? If I store them in our primary memory, means RAM. After closing the program, if I choose exit, after exiting the program, everything should be shut down, right? It means still next time if I log in, if it has to work, means that username and password should be present in a memory called disk. Okay, that is called secondary storage in computer science. So files are one of the ways to store, or by default, I would say is only way to store data in disk. But right now in the program, if we go, I'm storing the registration values like password and username in a memory called Here I'm storing users.txt. So this is the file I'm creating using output file stream class. This is a C++ class object it is. I'm creating this object and calling this constructor object of output file stream type, and then storing the registered values in a file called users.txt. I know it is not a great way to store passwords. You need to encrypt this, and probably in Java or upcoming sessions, I will show you how to encrypt data as well. But right now, just understand, here I have stored usernames and passwords. Okay. Same way Google has stored this, but file is not a best way because anybody can open the file, right? That's why these files again will be stored and searching a file is also very difficult. Because if say like Google has millions of users, searching becomes very hard task if you use a file. Even opening a million users file is difficult. So in the hard disk, storing these values will be done in a concept called tables, database tables. Database is collection of, uh, I would say, again, they are internally can be files, but technically they use the concept of B plus trees, or just remember trees. They use advanced trees in your data structures and store data in the form of trees in the file. So it would be very easy to search that file. Okay. So this is very beautiful concept, but for now I want to explain it. But in interview, maybe at least they will ask you this kind of problem. Can write a login application using anything. You can start with a file. File is a good start. And then as your experience is increasing, you can extend this up to what? Database in the upcoming semesters once that subject comes. But this is just a basic thing I would like to explain you. And also we use the concept of switch and two functions, one to register, one more to login, and another is close the file and exit. These are the things we are doing here. In these functions. Okay, this might be your lab assignment. So just to be prepared in case if they ask you. But unfortunately, it's in C++. We need to convert it back to C language if you probably have a lab exam in C. You can confirm me, it's not a big deal to convert this. We can do that. Now the question is, this is still, I feel, a C program with a C++ file name, because we're not using the real C++ concepts. We just created two functions under a main, calling it through a switch, right? It's not a real C++ kind of features available. So interviewers don't impress much if you write this code, although there is nothing wrong with this code. So that's why I have created one more concept called this. I have created a class, user management. Here, load users, save users, register user, login user. Likewise, we have created multiple functions. The internal implementation is same, but the structure is much more what? Refactored code. And again, I have created a constructor, which we have discussed in the initial session. Constructor is reading the file name. And good news is, if I still use the users.txt, I can append data. I don't need to register you again in this new program. See here, I can I can still able to log in. Previous program created the user, still another program can read that. See, still login successful because the file name is same. That's the advantage with the disk memory. 100 programs can read the same file and update the same file. I can update this with third user. I don't know your friend name, GR, right? And let's go and see the file. Oh, it's not refreshed. Something went wrong. It should work. I don't know, like. Okay, let's log in with her password. Yeah, login successful. Something wrong. Something is wrong with the path. There might be another users.txt file created. I don't know. Okay. It's sometimes, files until they are closed, they don't display. So let me exit first and see the users.txt file. Yeah, it has updated now. GL. Okay. Sorry if our spelling is wrong. Cool. So see, the data is available. So once you click the exit, then the details you can see in this file. Interesting? But Rishita, you're laughing. Okay. So this is very important concept again for the interviews, also for your labs. I don't know in your lab exam, if they ask, keep these programs handy and practice these. There's certain syntaxes we should remember, like how to open a file, create, close. These syntaxes, we have no choice. But remember, they are just classes and objects, which are available in fstream.h header file. So those are unavoidable. But if you get time, try to do this much lines of code, 100 lines with the classes and objects. If you don't get time, just do this one, which is around 90 lines. And then you have still another important version because, sometimes this file can be deleted, right? Or renamed. That's why I have renamed this file. Users4.txt. Actually, this file is not available. So your another developer mistakenly given wrong name to the input file. So this file doesn't exist. Then we should handle, right, the exception. So this is the exception we are going to handle here. It has smoothly terminating the program because that file doesn't exist. We can see the catch. This block is executing. We are not typing much. That's why it has given us failed to open a user file. Do you see this one? Okay. This is coming from line 106. Error. And what is giving you this message? Why? Because we put that code in try catch block. That's why we are receiving this error. So to handle it properly, we have 2 minutes left. You can use this also in your code. So throw runtime error and then this, if you can't able to open this file. This is very good way to, I know in one session, it is very hard to remember all this, but since the recording is there, before interview, this recording will be useful to you. But right now, just remember, when you are opening a file, always keep this exception handling mechanism in mind. So in the interview or even in the company, in your office job, this will be essential. Okay. So it will avoid crashing the whole program. It will just crash that particular logic and it will run the remaining part of the code. But if you don't do this, the whole program will be crashed. And then again, every time you don't know like what is happening. This message doesn't display right. That's why it's better to do like this. So how to, I think this call will be disconnected. I'll send you the link. But right now I'm done with the basics. Now it should work. See, we are able to see the result. If I want to log in, I can log in. Login successful. Cool. Okay, let's connect through another link in maybe in a minute. Bye. Any doubts? Okay. Thank you.